It's June 14th, 2024. June 14th, 2024. I had one doozy of a dream. And this is a dream I've had before. This is literally a repeated dream. I haven't reported it in these videos before, but I've had this dream more than once. And in this dream, I'm me, and I'm running from my sociopath ex. I'm moving from place to place, and I'm hiding from him, and he is always after me in this dream. And a lot of this dream is jumbled, and I don't really understand what parts of it mean or how parts of it fit together, but it's like a long dream. It's a long dream. It's hours worth of a dream. And in this dream, he's stolen my children, and he is abusing them in every way, like pretty much anyone could imagine what's really going on, basically. And he's brainwashing them and perpetrating parental alienation, as well as everything else he's doing. And my oldest child, he is abusing that child the worst, as he always did. The most damaging, the most physically damaging abuse. Maybe that's a better way to put it. The most heinous abuse. And it's like he's killing my oldest child. He's killing him. He's torturing him, and he's killing him in this dream. And I'm basically living and hiding in this particular really rural location, and a child of the gender of my oldest shows up, and the child is really half dead, battered, sick, starved, everything. It's really bad. It's really bad. And in the dream, my child is maybe, I can't really tell, because it's like he's either, or they're either between, well, just say he. In the dream, he's, anywhere between 10 and 12 years old. And he's so weak, when I find him, I basically have to pick him up and carry him. And it's like he just shows up outside of where I'm living, in a very, very remote area. This isn't the suburbs. This isn't the city. There aren't houses and people everywhere. It's almost like an apocalypse scene, and he shows up, and just like I have to pick him up and carry him inside. And he doesn't even look, he looks like my child, but he doesn't look like my child, because he's so battered. And I feel like he could be my child in the dream, but I know, it's like I think he's not. In the dream, I think I found a child that looks like my child, but it's not my child. But the child is half dead and has been terribly abused, and there's nobody else around. And I just pick him up and I carry him in, and I just like claim him. I just claim him. If he wants to stay, he can be mine. He can be my child. And I, take care of him, and I nurse him back to health as much as I can. And it's not quick. He's in really bad shape. It's not quick. And in the dream, he doesn't talk a lot. In the dream, it's like he can't. Physically, it's like he can't. But he does a little bit. And as it turns out, as the dream unfolds, it's like he's not actually my child, but he looks a lot like my child. And I feel like he's my child. But the consensus is he's not actually my child. And we're living in this remote location, he and I continue nursing him back to health with so success. I mean, I keep him alive. He doesn't get any worse. Obviously, there isn't any more abuse because I don't hurt him. And then my ex, in the dream, my ex has hired a bunch of thugs, and they find us. And I find out they find us. It's like in the dream, it's like I have intuition that they find us, and I feel like we're being watched, and it's time to move to another location. So I'm getting set to move to another location and obviously take this child who wants to stay with me, who wants me to be his mother, and I want him to be my son, and I love him like he's my son. In the dream, I even call him by the name of my child. So it's like he has become my child. I love him as much as my child. He's my child now. And he resembles my child. He resembles my child. He has personality and mannerisms and everything like he's my child. And he always did. He always had those things. And I'm going in the dwelling, which was like, it was like maybe an old single wide trailer or something, or like an old ramshackle type of long cabin or something like that, to get stuff. And I go out into what's almost like a garage. And in the dream, I'm actually looking for him. I can't find him anywhere. He's disappeared. And I'm frantic, and I want to grab him and I guess put him in the vehicle and go. It's time to put him in the vehicle and go. And I can't find him, and I'm frantic, and I'm running everywhere looking for him, desperately looking for him. And I find him tied up in like a big closet in like this garage. It's like a garage closet, like a shed attached to the garage is what it's really like. And I find him tied up in there, and he's tied on his arms and his legs and like suspended from the ceiling, like not hanging from the neck, but he's hanging. He's tied and he's like suspended from the ceiling. And he's been battered. He's been beaten up so badly. When I first see him, I think he's dead. And of course, I get him down. I cut him down drastically, and I'm cradling him in my arms, and I'm losing it, and I'm hysterical. and panicked. And I know that the guys that did this, they're probably still really close, maybe even right in the house. And this gets really jumbled in the dream. But I believe I carry him into the car. I hold him really tight. I hold him really, really tight. And I carry him to what I think is safety. And I believe I put him in the car, and he starts to moan and move a little bit. And so he's not dead. He's not dead. And we get away. We get away. And then it turns out that I nurse him back to health again. And he tells me that he is my child. And he reveals memories of, the past before all of this. And he is my child. He is my child. And he's angry, and he's saying, why didn't you save me before? Where were you? You just left me. You just ran out on me. You just abandoned me. You left me. Where were you? If you cared, where were you? If you wanted to be my mother, where were you? And I tell him that I've been looking for you. I've been fighting for you. I've been looking for you. And I tell him everything that's happened. And I tell him as well, and I prove it to him. I prove it to him because I have some things where I could prove it to him. And he's completely emotionally losing it because he sees it's all true. And I'm losing it because I see he's really my child. He's really my child. And I found him, and we're together. And I've saved him. But we're still on the run. It's like we haven't settled in another place where we're safe, where he's safe. And I tell him, about this thing that he wanted, that I was going to give him, and that I have for him. And I have it at this other home where I was. And it's something he really wanted. And it's something that probably would have prevented a lot of this if I could have given it to him before. But I had tried and tried and tried to contact him or find him or have an opportunity to give it to him before, and I never did. So at this juncture in the dream, he wants it, and of course I want to give it to him. And then he gets taken. And in the dream, I don't remember exactly how he gets taken, but he gets taken. And of course, I'm frantically looking for him again. And he was still really weak from what they had done to him. He was severely battered and weak because of what they'd done physically to him. And so then in the dream, I'm walking around these neighborhoods looking for him, and these are really weird neighborhoods. These aren't normal neighborhoods. And these thugs are looking for me. So I'm hiding from them and looking for him. And like I hide in this trailer park, in this yard. And that's actually in the dream the last place that I saw him. He and I were still together, so these thugs were after us. And he hid in one area in this trailer park yard, and I hid in another area pretty nearby in this trailer park yard. And this trailer park yard was like a hoarder yard. It had junk, large pieces of junk everywhere. So he hid in one spot, and I hid in another, at little nooks that we scrunched our bodies in this hoarder trailer park yard. And then the thugs came through, and, when they left and I came out of hiding, he was gone. And so I was looking for him after that. So that's how that went. And I didn't find him again, but I was still looking, and the dream went on, and I kept looking in places like that. And in the dream, various people, I would communicate with various people, and they would just basically tell me, just forget about it. Just forget it. Like, who cares? Just forget about it. And I kept looking for him, kept looking for him. And, people say it's hopeless. Why do you bother? If it was meant to be, then it would have been, and it isn't. So it's not meant to be. You just need to let it go. You just need to let it go and move on. He probably wasn't even your child anyway. Just forget it. You'll never find him. Just forget it. You can't do this. You can't find him. Forget it. You can't save him. Just forget it. Just, do whatever your ex wants, and he'll leave you alone. Just forget about this other stuff. It's just stupid. You're not getting anywhere. You're just putting yourself in danger. You're destroying your own life. Look at you. You're destroyed because you're doing this. So you need to just forget about it. And I keep looking, obviously, anyway, and I keep thinking that he is my child, that what came out, the truth that came out is the real truth, and he's my child. And so I'm really looking for him desperately. And I would have in the dream, in real life, I would have kept looking for him. He would have become my child, even if he hadn't been my child. That part didn't even matter anymore. And I kept looking for him. And then in the dream, I had moved into this other very remote location, and it was basically like a falling down old pole barn type of structure. And I was out getting supplies and looking for him, and then I came, quote unquote, home, right to the structure, and I felt like something was off, but I didn't see anybody. It was really quiet. And I went into this structure. I didn't see anybody. I didn't hear anybody. It's really quiet. And I was in the structure, and then one of the thugs started like pounding on the door and saying, "You need to come out. I need to talk to you. I have a message. You want to hear this message? I just have a message for you, and you